God will always invite us to a journey of dreaming the impossible, and it is not going to be a linear, straight path journey. It is going to be filled with confusions, with disappointments, with setbacks, but you will know if it's from the Lord. Hello everyone! So, today I'm going to share with you how I topped the board exam even when I had failed grades in college. And in here, I will share to you some insights I've learned in the journey, as well as share to you some practical tips on how to navigate your day-to-day review days. And I hope somehow and in some way, this will inspire you to dream the impossible. Kasi it was really impossible. And by the way, if perfect ka, well, please skip this video because this is really not going to be a story of someone who is perfect and top the board exam. This is a story of someone who have messed things up hugely and was so lost in the process, but somehow found her way through it. So yun, if you have had lots of messes in the past, if you have made so much mistakes and you really dream to still experience redemption, well, this video is for you and I hope you enjoy it. So it's not really about how well one starts, but how well one ends. And that theme is really the recurring theme of my life journey. So most of my friendships, my closest friendship, did not really have a good start and even yung mga endeavors ko in life. Pero thankfully naman, naglast sila. So ayun, I realized that we really should not judge things for what they are now, but for what they can become. Because it's not over until it is over. And just to provide a context on my college years, so actually, I started as a Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communication major in journalism because I really want to be a journalist. But at that time kasi, the news about newscasters being massacred blew up. So yung mama ko, she decided, or she asked if I could shift to another course instead. So yun, nag-shift na lang din ako kasi it was for my protection. So I shifted, pero wala naman siyang sinuggest. So I shifted to library science, then to social studies, and then to math. So yes, I kept on shifting because I really had nowhere else to go besides journalism. That's just what I wanted at that time. So the reason why I ended up as an education student was because in library science, we have education subjects. So when I shifted, na-credit lang din yung mga courses na yun. And in those subjects, we do reportings and stuff. So when we do reporting, then na-realize ko, okay, I really love teaching. I really love teaching pala. So, ayun. And then, my professors also noticed me and they thought I was smart. Well, actually, akala ko din matalino ako. But, math happened. The humbling, pride-stripping math happened. So, yun. And you know what? I realized fate really has its way of humbling us down. But if we'll take it rightly, it will also be an opportunity for us to grow and outgrow ourselves. So it was through my math journey that I experienced being looked down. Although 5 flat naman yung height ko, guys, so nilulook down din talaga ako. Alam mo yung, di ba pag may assignments, you will have to verify your answers with your other classmates kung tama ba yung sagot mo. So yung sagot ko, hindi talaga nila ginagamit as verification. Kasi kahit ako naman, hindi ko din gagamitin yung papel ko. Kaya ganun talaga ako kahina sa math, guys. In fact, sa sobrang hina ko sa math, maka 3.5 lang sapat na. 3.5 pala is our version of 75. So that's just the passing grade. So yun. And as if math is not hard itself, there are also some professors who will make it even harder. May mga professor ka din talaga na mamimit na parang ipapamukha sa'yo na hindi ka matalino. Which is, sir, I accept that and tanggap ko po. So ayun, that somehow was my journey in mathematics. And because I did not have so much success in math, yung lagi ka na lang nababagsak even sa quizzes and examinations, hindi talaga ako ganado na pumasok sa school. So, my classmates are even surprised when I get to complete my attendance in a week. I think wala akong gana because I have no success. And without success kasi, mabibreak talaga yung confidence mo. Because success builds confidence. Ironically, despite my constant failings in math, God seems to be impressing in my heart that I'll make it on top. I can still remember I was second year college at that time when I sought the Lord. Kasi Christian na po ako at that time. I sought the Lord kasi I was about to shift again because I am about to fail again. God gave me a dream that I'll be a top-notcher, which was so impossible to believe at that time. Kasi nga, not only am I not good in math, I'm not even getting any better. Yung tipong halbang tumatagal, lalong mas pinapamukha ni math na hindi ka matalino. Accepted. So, ayun, tanggap ko po talaga yan. Yan din talaga ang nagagawa ng constant humbling season. Yung parang tatanggapin mo na lang na okay. Sabi ko ba matalino ako? Hindi naman. So, ayun, parang yun na lang I get to accept na okay, talaga ako matalino. However, despite those experiences, my heart somehow knows that I'll make it on top. Alam mo yung kahit nababagsak ako, yung heart ko, alam ko magiging top notcher din talaga ako. Kung paano, hindi ko pa alam. Pero I don't know, hindi ko siya ma-explain. Yeah, I can't really explain it. But at that time, I was so assured. Or siguro because, sabi kasi ni God, so parang, sige, paninglon dyan ka, God. So God kept bringing that dream in my heart. But circumstances are also becoming more impossible than it ever was. So it's like, na-feel ko talaga yung na-feel ni Sarah na nag-promise si God na magkakaroon siya ng anak at 90. So it's like that. Parang pag-sure di agad. So, sure talaga tayo dito, God. Yung gano'n na level, yung matatawa ka na parang pinapadream ni God sa'yo. Kasi yun nga, things are becoming more impossible than it ever was. So at that time, I actually believed that, Lord, siguro mali yung course ko. Siguro, I'll be a top notcher but on a different course. So at that time, I thought of shifting again to education pa rin naman, but in primary school na, parang elementary education. But, parang may mga affirmation kasi that I'll just keep on doing math. So yun, I decided to keep on. But, just because I keep on doesn't mean everything went smoothly na. So, hindi kasi siya ganun na just because you have faith, everything will come smoothly na or everything will become smooth sailing na. No. It's rarely the case. In fact, it was on that same year, I took up abstract algebra. It's a major subject. Tapos yung math na yan, wala na yung mga numbers, more of letters na yan, proving and stuffs. What happened at that time was, I failed the first 2 exams. Tapos 3 exams lang kasi yan kasi that was summer. You know what I did? I asked my professor, parang sa examination paper ko for our final exam. Nag-note ako dun kay sir. Sabi ko, sir, I'm really sure I'll fail this subject. But if it's okay with you, can I retake this final exam on another time? Magsa-study na lang po ako, pero pwedeng the same exam, sir. Yes, guys, ganun talaga kakapal yung mukha ko. Kasi alam ko, mapafail talaga ako at that time. So I just asked my professor if I could retake the exam. To which, he did not allow. Pero pinasa niya na lang ako kasi but things seemed to be getting worse. So, when I was in 3rd year na naman, there was this subject called Integral Calculus. Tapos, failed kasi ako sa 1st, 2nd, and 3rd exam. And because I was so afraid to fail it again, what I did was that I just approached my professor if he could just drop me. Kasi in my mind, better kasi yung drop. Kasi at least, pwede mong i-justify na hindi ko lang siya natapos. Kaya ko naman yung pasahin kung nag-keep on lang ako. Pero I wanted it to be a drop grade para at least to save my pride. Nga lang, yung tipong hindi ka na-reject kasi hindi ka naman nag-try. Ganun na level of mindset that I had at that time. So, that was my escape plan. That was my way of saving my pride. And so, alam mo that was my way of avoiding it. And everything that you avoid, you will eventually have to face in the long run. Yeah, you cannot escape that. So, ayun, it will just become more overwhelming. So, eventually, I had to face it. Kasi part naman siya ng curriculum, so hindi ko talaga siya pwede skip. So, what I did at that time is that, hindi na kasi siya offered sa school namin, so I cross-enrolled I cross-enrolled that subject in another school. And what made it worse is that, mas mahirap yung professor ko on a different school. You can try as much to escape or avoid, but we eventually have to face it. And that's the reason why I have this video. Kasi for several years, God has been prompting in my heart to really record this video. But ayoko lang. I've been trying to avoid it, but may mga nights na kasi na parang I am awakened by the thought of doing this video. So I'm not really the kind na magsushoot ng mga ganito, pero there has been this prompting in my heart to do it now. So sige, gagawin ko na po. Anyway, due to constant failures, nawala siya sa isip ko. I just got tired believing. I got preoccupied with other things kasi at that time I was involved in a campus ministry. In fact, tawag ng mga classmates ko sa akin is that I major in ministry, minor in education. Which, to this day, I'm really grateful because my involvement with campus ministries have helped hone my leadership skills, my communication skills, and even my people skills. And those are life skills na hindi siya matitake away sa'yo. So, I'm really grateful with my involvement with the campus ministry. However, may regret lang din sa part ko that I could have been a better ambassador of Christ had I been a good steward of my studies. So, yeah, I failed to become excellent in my studies kasi yun na nga, ministry was something that brought joy to my heart. But somehow din, if I'm honest enough, it was also my escape. Kasi parang natatago niya yung part na I am incapable. Kasi sa ministry, medyo celebrated ako, appreciated ako. But in my studies, I was not. So, it was my way of making me feel good about myself, hiding the fact that there was some other things that I should have faced instead. It's not the ministry's problem. It was my problem not being able to face the fact that I am supposed to be facing my own lawn ba. Because, yeah, it was my escape plan. And so, Macboard came, and it was also at that time that God resurrected that dream. So, in one of my quiet times, parang God reminded me ba na, why won't you pray for it again? So, I told him, Lord, this is why I don't pray for it again. But, yeah, he had constant affirmations through his word and even through circumstances na I would make it. So, one time, there was this examination, pre-test yun sa math. It's a minor math, guys, by the way. And surprisingly, I was the third highest of all the takers. So, parang, it gave me the confidence to dream again. So, I dreamed again. But if you think that that's the part that everything, that I started to become among the highest, well, ayoko na lang talaga mag-tell because that was the only time that I got the highest score. The rest is history. Let's just leave it at history. I'm not even part of the top 50. So it was also during my Macboard that I had to surrender a relationship that was so dear to me. Parang that was my treasured possession at that time. Medyo clear siya that I had to forgo that one. Primarily because we don't share the same faith. Ang sakit nun, promise. But it's as if that's not enough. There was also a crisis in the family that happened. When it rains, it pours. So yun, sabi ko kay God na, Lord, this is exactly why I don't pray anymore. Because the more I pray, the more complicated things get. So parang finargo ko na lang siya. And then, because the circumstances at the time was so painful, excruciatingly painful, I decided to forgo taking the boards. So meanwhile, I applied as a volunteer missionary. So naging volunteer missionary ako, and then I did not really plan to take the boards anymore. But my mother insisted that I can do whatever I want as long as I take the boards. So yun, I just took the boards. And while I wanted to be a missionary, God had a different plan for me. So yun, He reminded me again of that dream. And alam mo yung, sige Lord, humugus man ka. Sure lang. So I decided to believe on it again. And yeah, it wasn't really a linear journey. And guys, if your faith is not perfect or it's not linear, it's okay. No one had it linear. No one had it perfectly. No one believed fully without doubts in it. So I did not. So while I believe that it was by faith that God honored my prayer, I also believe that faith without works is dead. Kasi faith manifests itself through action. Because through faith, it acts. And so at that time, I became more intentional and I strategize. And here are my strategies. So first, I began with an awareness of my weakness. Kasi it's so hard to deal a battle if you don't know what you're facing. So at that time, I know I had to make an assessment of myself. I became more aware of the areas that I had a hard time with. It was really math. And may mga particular math talaga that I need to be to be extra. So, first you have to begin with an awareness of your weaknesses. And aside sa you focus on that, you ask help. It's never wrong to ask for help. So siguro yun din yung na-appreciate ko in my previous year's journey kasi it really helped me then to become more parang to ask help from people because it's never wrong to ask help from people, especially if you don't know. Parang hindi ko kaya talaga to on my own. But you really wanted to do it, so you ask help because we cannot really accomplish things on our own also. So, yun, begin with an awareness of the things that you are having a hard time with. Another thing is that aside sa mahina ako sa math, easily distracted din ako. So, what I did at that time, di pa kasi uso yung deactivation ng Facebook. So, what I did was, I just asked my roommate that if she could have my password and then she just gives it to me on weekends. So, yun yung parang naging action plan ko kasi hindi talaga kaya na magpa-Facebook ako. I'm so easily distracted for that. Yeah, I had to be aware and to really face it. Parang hindi ko na justify yung sarili ko, hindi kaya ko yan. No. And the second strategy I had at that time was really to establish a routine. So, as someone who has an ADHD, it's so hard for us to have a routine. But, at that time, I really had a routine. And the beauty about routine is that it automates your day-to-day life. It also helps na parang ma-eliminate yung decision-making process mo. So that's the importance of routine. So as much as possible, have a routine during your review days. And to give you a routine reveal, ang sa akin at that time is that I really begin with a quiet time. I start my day with quiet time. And the reason behind that is because the battle is really in the mind. May mga times din na kaya mo na naman by your skill set. Pero mas kalaban mo kasi talaga yung mind mo. So I really had to spend time with the Lord at that time because I need to remind myself of na I cannot do it on my own, but God can. It's also in your quiet times that you get affirmed. So the Lord will really encourage you. He really would. So yan yung first thing that I do in the morning, and then I go to I prepare, and then I go to the review center. Tapos pag uwi, umakain, then nagnanap ako for mga 1 hour siguro. And then I don't know, but for some reason I really have to listen to Dolly Parton's Islands in the Stream. I don't know, throughout my review journey, that was really my comfort song, and it's not even encouraging. Siguro because of the nostalgia it brings, I really don't know. But yeah, yan at yung Through the Years ni Kenny Rogers. Those are the songs that was really part of my routine, and it gave me comfort at that time. And then after that, I study math kasi yun yung parang area that I really had a hard time with. And at that time kasi may work ako. I tutor 2 kids at that time, which was what sustained me at that time. I tutor so mga from 5 to 8 p.m. And then after that, I rest for 1 hour. And then nagsastudy na naman ako from 9 to 12. So that's basically my routine at that time. The thing about routine is that it's not something na dapat ganito din yung gawin mo. You really have to find your own rhythm, your own dynamics. Kasi what works with me might not work well with you. So you have to really find the rhythm that works well with you. Sa akin, it's that I really had to spend that quiet time because I needed to be affirmed throughout the day. I needed to have positive thoughts throughout the day. I need encouragement throughout the day. So I begin with it. Also, the other thing is that I really eliminated my social media at that time because napaka-toxic ng social media, and you will hear in news that you are of no control naman. These are the things that are already outside your control. So it only adds up to your problem. So I eliminated my social media. From time to time, I also do that until now. Kasi pag may mga things na, those issues are not mine to concern myself with. So I better leave it off. I'd rather not engage in it anymore. Pero may mga times din talaga na tempting. Yeah, but so remove the temptation. Yeah. And then the third thing that is my strategy for throughout the review days is that I keep my meaningful relationships. So I'm so thankful that I have an accountability group that I get to share my journey with. So we meet every week, and those were really the times that I feel so encouraged. Kasi they've been there. They already took their boards and they know how it feels. So I am understood. They also remind me of my worth in Christ, the things that God alone can do. So parang it's really important that you keep your meaningful relationships. You keep surrounding yourself with people who will speak life to you, who will not just share to you some bad news na wala ka namang magagawa. Kasi we're longing for connection talaga, guys. We cannot deny that. And if we will not have that, we will look for it in another form. So I don't know what's another form with you, pero we will really look for that in another form. So rather pursue meaningful relationships that are actual, that are there, that are real, that are not just in your imagination. So yun. Came to the point that I became okay, even if that will not be granted. Because I was so grateful for the person that I have become through the journey of dreaming to become a top-notcher. And parang it just ignited my journey of becoming a better person. So the journey has helped me grow in a lot of areas. It broke a lot of my sinful tendencies, such as my self-reliance, my pride, my arrogance, my conceit, name it all. So yun, parang I still believe naman that I still do have those tendencies until now, because I believe our sinful tendencies are like onions, na it comes in layers. So, may mga circumstances that you will be peeled from it from time to time, pero somehow it would still be there, but not as bulky as it was back then. So that's why we really have to take on the journey, so that we will be peeled off from our sinful tendencies. And also, the journey kasi, it helped me become more vulnerable. You know what? It was so hard for me to become vulnerable back then. Kasi I was so afraid to become vulnerable because it can be taken against you. When you share something to people, they can take it against you. However, what I've come to realize is that vulnerability is a strength. And vulnerability will not happen overnight, but it will be a product of how deeply rooted you are in who you are with God. Or the more that you find your worth in the Lord, the more you understand that even if people will think of it this way towards me, I am loved by God, I am accepted by God. What other people would say would not matter anymore. So the whole journey has helped me grow in that area, in those areas. Yeah, and it was really meaningful for me. Parang bonus na lang talaga yung nag-top ako sa board exam, but who I become in the process, something that I cherish until this day, something that I'm really grateful until this day. Kasi alam mo yung, God, hindi ko naman pinangarap to, pero binigay mo, mas binigyan mo pa ako ng bagong puso. So that's really something to be grateful to God for. And that's what I had throughout the journey. Alam mo, hindi siya related somehow sa board exam, diba? If you will come to think of it. But the journey kasi wasn't just about topping the board. It wasn't just a skill thing. It was a heart change. And that's what happened to me throughout the journey. In fact, some things will take a lifetime for us to be changed. Kasi we are really sinners. Makasalanan talaga ang katawang ito. Makasalanan talaga tayo. And it's ironic because it was through my board exam journey that I get to learn some of those things. So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay that if you're not good at it right away, it's okay that it takes a lifetime for you to change. Because there will always be an area that you really need help with. So yun. So, and it also taught me, because of my failures in that throughout college, it also taught me to be gracious to those people who are trying. Kasi the very part that they are trying is already courage. It's already enough. So what I realized is that the whole journey is part of the miracle. Because the journey has helped me come face to face with my struggles, with my weaknesses, with my tendencies. And it's really frustrating to come face to face with those things. Kasi alam mo yung, why can't I change overnight? Why am I like this? Why am I not like that? We will always have those questions in mind. And somehow, my board exam journey helped me deal with that. It helped me grow more vulnerable. And the thing about vulnerability kasi, guys, it's not easy. It's really hard to lay your heart open. Kasi parang the risk of vulnerability is that when you lay your heart open, what will the other person do with it? But what I realized is that when you show vulnerability, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. Parang it's you freeing yourself up from the lies that you have been believing all this time. So what they will do with that is no longer your control. It's no longer your responsibility. And I learned that through my journey towards board exam. Kasi there were those times that I asked for help, I communicated my needs, but I wasn't responded to. But it doesn't mean wrong yung pag-ask ko ng help. It's just that they are not in the capacity to help me at that time, and it's okay. Throughout the board exam journey, I learned how to ask for help. Kasi I was so self-reliant back then that I didn't really see the need for people to ask help from people. So parang the whole journey has helped me with that. My failures and my setbacks have helped me grow more gracious towards others. Kasi parang ang perfect ko sa paningin ko before. That when others fail, I get so easily frustrated. But when I had to face that there are some areas also that I'm not good at, that helped me become more gracious with others. But I'm not really that gracious pa rin until now, guys. It's just that I'm a little bit gracious than I ever was. So the point of the dream is not really the fulfillment of it, but the person that you become through the art or through the journey of dreaming. And you know what I realized? Na parang, God, why can't you just make it simple? Parang, simplihan lang natin, God. Why does it have to be this complicated? And I realized that God loves to do things in a more complicated way because had it been easy, had I topped the board because I was naturally good at math, I would have given the glory to myself. But because it was so impossible that it only took God to make it happen, now I can say that it was really God. And God really does love to do wonders. And He is really mighty. He can really make rivers in the desert. He is the God of the impossible. But more than that, He is this personal God who takes delight in honoring your heart's desires, who really seeks to bless. So, ang bottom line talaga ng journey, the fulfillment of it was that the person that you become through it, and that the highlight of it is that there's this God who loves to pursue you, and He loves to show how mighty He is in and through your life. So what God did at that time for me was that He first glorified Himself in me so that He can be glorified through me. Pero ewan ko lang kung nag-glorify ko ba si God dito. Lord, pa-share ng glory. Konti lang. Pero yeah, seriously, deep in my heart, I would like to say that, Lord, it was because of me, because I was like this and that. Wala talaga. Siguro on other areas, I would glorify myself, but in that board exam journey, still remember those nights that I cried in tears because I really had to come face to face with my helplessness. So just to close this video, just want to encourage you that God will always invite us to a journey of dreaming the impossible, and it is not going to be a linear, straight path journey. It is going to be filled with confusions, with disappointments, with setbacks. It would also become more impossible than it ever was. And it would even strip us of ourselves as it is supposed to. So that's the purpose of it actually. But you will know if it's from the Lord because it just won't die down no matter how you dismiss it, no matter how you skim your way out of it. And He will provide encouragement through people, through circumstances, and even through His Word. So those are the things that you would know that that dream is from the Lord. So this may not be related to your board exam journey, but this may be some other dream that God has put in your heart. So pursue it, because if God had put that dream in your heart, He would also be the one who would find a way to make it happen. But one important thing is that we have to be active participants of it. We have to step out on the comfort zone that He's asking us to step out from. Maybe it could be asking help from people. It could be doing something that is really not typical of you to do. So we also have to be active participants in order for that dream to be fulfilled. So, but one thing I know, if God said He would. Because He is the God who makes river in the desert, who makes possible the impossible. And it's always about Him. So you just need to participate by walking with Him daily and obeying Him right where He calls us to go. And may my story be a reflection of that it's not really about how good we are, how perfect we are. It's about how God can redeem the messes you have made. Yeah, how He can restore the things that seem so irrestorable. Is there such a thing as Is there such a word as irrestorable? But yeah, you get the point. So my topping the board was a miracle journey. But I realized that the greatest miracle is a transformed heart. And indeed, God makes all things work together for the good of those who love Him. May God be glorified. Ang lamig!